What's good, y'all? It's your boy Alec back with another video on the channel. Today I'm gonna be breaking down the 2022 guide to basic trap drums. Let's get into it. So you guys might not know, but I listen to damn near everything that drops, study all the trends and everything, and I've noticed some major things that big industry producers do to get these major placements. I'm about to go over these simple and easy things that will help you level up, get placements, and not have your sound outdated anymore. I'm also gonna be going through some of my recent placements, such as Young Huncho, who's blown up in Atlanta right now. I'm gonna be breaking down what he liked about that beat and why he chose that beat exactly. So I'm gonna use this crazy loop for my boy Juco. One very important thing is you gotta always start your beat off with a good melody. Whether you're using a loop, whether you're making it from scratch, doesn't matter, but it always has to start with a good melody. And it really doesn't matter if you're using a loop. There's nothing wrong with it. All these industry producers that you look up to are using loops. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put it in BPM, which is 56, put it on a mixer track, and I'm gonna EQ out the lows and just put it over here so you don't have to hear the mids anymore. And then add a soft clipper on the master. That's very important because then your drums hit extra hard. I'm gonna be using ProducerGrind's high class drum kit and the SLATT trap drum kit. So if you want any of the sounds I'm using in this video, the links will be in the description. And for 10% off, use code ALEC22. Just made a basic clap pattern. Added like a different type of bounce right here just for a bit more variation. So one thing that's very important in basic trap drums, hi-hat bounce. Hi-hat is gonna carry the bounce of the beat. So you don't wanna go too crazy in the hi-hats, but you definitely want it to have its own bounce. I keep it pretty simple. I do a two-step, but I just do some little rolls under it. And one thing that's very cool that you could do is messing around with the velocity in the pitches. So you can see here, I have it a whole octave down. And the reason I do that is because I just feel like it gives more of a different type of bounce, but it still has the simplicity for the artist to go crazy on. Now I'm just gonna find a basic 808 to use, and we're gonna just find a good bounce for it. So with 808s, one thing I always say is you should always mess around with different notes and stuff. So like it's in the scale, of course, but never just keep it on the same note the whole time, because honestly, it's very boring the whole time. Very important thing that we have to get into is pockets. A pocket is basically a little space where the beat isn't doing too much so the artist can go crazy. This right here, this is a pocket. This right here, a pocket. This is a pocket. This is a pocket. It just has a lot of that space for the rapper to go stupid on. Stupid! It's very important because if you just have the 808 going non-stop, you see how annoying that could be. If you go too crazy, it sounds like a good beat, but there's no artist on it. If you keep it bare simple, but still have it bouncy, then any artist is gonna use it. We added the snare bounce. So one very important thing, you gotta add little variations in the beats, like something that you could take out during the verse, something that you could put in during the hook. So for example, this snare, this main snare, I'm only gonna use this for like the hook and then take it out for the verse. The listener can feel like something new is in there, but they don't know what it is, but they can hear that it's hitting harder. I definitely recommend in the arrangement, always try just adding and taking out some things, adding a new melody or taking out some melody, some type of difference so the listener kind of notices. That's one thing I do a lot. I feel this beat is done. All I gotta do is get to the mixing it, which is some people's hardest thing for them. I'll break it down very easily for you guys right now. For me, the loop always goes around here. I don't like it too loud. Then after that, the clap doesn't go more than 3, and the hat doesn't go more than 9. And then the 808 is by ear. The 808 has to be loud, but not too loud, not overdoing. So for me, the snare should not go above 9. Now all we gotta do is arrange it. So whenever you lay out the arrangement, always make sure there's no tail at the end of the loop that you're using. When you copy it over, there's space in between and it ruins the whole arrangement. All you gotta do is go to this cut tool, right click on your mouse, shift, and it's gonna have this red thing and you just boom, and it deletes. So what I usually do when I'm arranging my beats, since I have the EQ taking out all the lows, I usually automate it. So just right click on this and create automation clip. And the reason I do that is because in some parts I do want the bass. So for example here, I'm gonna automate it to where there is a bass. You can still have that little bassy feeling when there's no drums at all. So one tip that I do give is whenever you have the hook, the melody in the hook should never be the most complicated melody in the loop you're using, because the hook is where they're gonna sing, because that's their main part. So you wanna keep it simple, more simple than the verse in my opinion. Intro, that's when the most is playing, because the intro, they're not gonna be rapping. So recently I went on a trip to Atlanta. I got in the studio with Young Huncho. He's blowing up in Atlanta right now. And I actually got a placement with him while I was in the studio with him, and he snippeted it. So this is actually the beat FOP for that beat, and I'm gonna break down why he liked this beat. I actually started this beat off with this loop from Mac and Juco. Luckily there's stems in this loop, which is way easier when you're arranging a beat for an artist. You can space it out however you want. So the one thing in this beat that's different is I actually used, instead of just one clap or one snare, I used one clap and a snare. So here the clap plays, here the snare plays. So the clap only plays on the first bar and the third bar. So then I knew I needed another snare, so I added this snare. And then after that, I added this other snare, this counter snare that can lead up to the second snare. So here's what I mean. The main bounce in this whole beat is the hi-hats. These hi-hats are a bit more complicated than the last beat. All I did is I started with the two-step, and after that I just went into the rolls. Added different pitch notes and added different rolls and stuff. So here's what the hi-hats sound. Obviously, they're doing their thing and they're very bouncy, but they still have pockets. So over here, pocket, over here, pocket. And you can see here, I actually mess around with the velocities of the rolls and the pitches. You never want them too loud. You kind of want the two-step to be the main thing, but have these little rolls in the background as a bounce. And the 808 definitely does its thing in this. But again, it's super simple, a very basic pattern because the hi-hats are already doing so much. And you don't want the hi-hats and the 808s both be crazy. You want just one to be crazy and the other one to just be simple. Usually, in my opinion, the hi-hats should be crazier than the 808 because the hi-hat is just the main bounce. For this 808, I'm using a spins. What I did is I turned up the attack by 10. So that's the beat. I mean, all I really did is just arrange it. You can make simple beats, but have them be bouncy. So this is the basic guideline for 2022 trap drums. If you enjoy this video, please go like, comment. If you want the drum sounds I was using in this video, the SLATT trap drum kit and the high class drum kit will be down in the description. Both links, top of the description. If you want 10% off on that, use code ALEC22. I actually have a Patreon. If you go down in the description, patreon.com/AlecBit. I do loop breakdowns, I do loop tutorials, teach you how to get placements, teach you how to make good loops, and teach you how to network on a more regular, consistent basis. And my Instagram is @AlecBit if you guys want to go check me out. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.